Sunlight hits your face before you even open your eyes. For a second it feels ordinary, warm, familiar. Then you hear it. The air itself sounds wrong. Insects too large to be insects, and somewhere close, something breathing, slow and heavy, that you can't see yet. You open your eyes. Nothing here is yours. You have exactly one job now: stay alive until sunset. You don't know it yet, but you're about to fail. Not once, 5 times. This isn't a movie script. Every single thing that's about to kill you is real. A real animal with a real fossil, sitting in a museum drawer somewhere right now, the evidence still visible on the bone. 5 attempts, 5 deaths. One place, the Morrison Formation 150 million years ago. The actual ground now buried beneath Wyoming and Colorado, the single most studied ecosystem of the entire Jurassic period. You're standing in the middle of an open plain, no cover, no walls, flat, dry ground in every direction and no grass anywhere, because grass hasn't evolved yet. The ground here is ferns and low, tough plants instead, an alien version of open field. Your instinct is simple. Stay in the open. See danger coming from any direction before it reaches you. Almost immediately, something catches your eye overhead, a shape gliding across the sky, wings spread, circling slowly above you. You freeze, watching it, waiting for it to dive. It never does. And it never will. This is a real Morrison Formation pterosaur. The largest ever found here had a wingspan of about 2.5 meters, roughly the size of a large vulture. Nowhere near big enough to lift you off the ground. Every flying monster snatches a human scene you've ever watched in a movie is fiction. This animal is completely harmless to you, but you don't know that. So you keep watching the sky, which means you aren't watching the ground. You don't hear anything approaching either. No growl, no roar, nothing like the sound every dinosaur film has trained you to listen for. That's not luck. Researchers studying dinosaur vocalization based on their closest living relatives, birds and crocodilians, think many of these animals didn't roar at all. They likely made deep, closed-mouth booms and hums, sounds you'd feel as much as hear. By the time you register movement low in the ferns, it's already too close. It's an Allosaurus, the single most common large predator ever found in this ecosystem. This wasn't rare bad luck. This was simply what lived here, growing to around 8.5 meters long. Its skull tells you exactly how it hunted. Its teeth weren't built to crush like a crocodile's. They were thin, curved, and blade-like. Researchers studying its bite mechanics found it likely didn't clamp down and hold. It drove its whole head forward in a slashing strike, using the momentum of the attack itself to tear flesh. Attempt 1 is over in seconds. You walk away with one clean lesson burned into you. Open ground gets you killed. Next time, get low, get covered. That lesson is exactly what kills you next. You move straight for a riverbank thick with green underbrush, cover on every side, water within reach. After watching the sky cost you your life once, hiding low in the vegetation feels like the obvious correction. It's actually one of the worst decisions available to you. Paleontologists studying this ecosystem found something remarkable. The 2 biggest predators here didn't compete for the same ground. Allosaurus had long legs built for speed across dry, open floodplains, exactly where attempt 1 just failed. But a second predator, Torvosaurus, had a lower, heavier, more powerful body, built for prowling through thick underbrush and waterways instead. Torvosaurus wasn't smaller than Allosaurus, it was bigger. Some estimates put it at over 30 feet long, weighing as much as a hippo, likely the single most powerful predator in this entire ecosystem. Unlike Allosaurus's slashing bite, Torvosaurus's build suggests brute-crushing force, closer to a bulldozer than a blade. You didn't escape the apex predator by hiding in the underbrush. You walked directly into a second one's territory, one even larger than the first. You've learned two things now. Avoid the open and avoid the thick brush closest to the biggest rivers. This time, you try a smaller stream, further from where Torvosaurus found you, bracing for something just as massive and just as slow. Instead, something fast finds you. Ceratosaurus shared this same general watery habitat, but it wasn't built anything like Torvosaurus. Smaller, leaner, and quicker, it's easy to identify by the single bony horn above its nose, a feature no other predator in this ecosystem had. It hunted fish, amphibians, and small aquatic reptiles through speed rather than overpowering large prey with size. You were braced for a slow, heavy ambush. You weren't watching for something quick. 3 attempts in, and something has quietly happened to you that you don't even notice. Your entire mind has rewired itself around one category: predator. Every scrap of caution you have left is aimed at teeth. A sound cuts through the brush to your left. Snapping stems, something moving fast. You don't stop to look. You can't afford to, not after 3 attempts of exactly this kind of sound, getting you killed. Your body reacts before your mind catches up, cutting hard through dense fern cover, where visibility drops to almost nothing. You aren't running toward anything. You aren't evaluating anything. You're running from a category of danger, your last 3 deaths trained deep into your nervous system. And because a plant-eating animal was never in that category to begin with, it never crosses your mind as something to watch for. You break through the fern line at a dead run, glancing back over your shoulder at whatever you were fleeing, and by the time you're facing forward again, you're already well inside range of a fully grown Stegosaurus you never saw coming. Stegosaurus carried 2 rows of large bony plates down its back and a tail tipped with 4 sharp spikes, known today as the thagomizer, a name paleontologists borrowed half-jokingly from a comic strip because for a long time nobody had a proper term for it. That tail doesn't need you to be close on purpose. It only needs you to be close. This is the single best evidence death in this entire video, because it isn't guesswork. It's a documented case file. Paleontologists found an actual Allosaurus tailbone with a healed wound, matching the exact shape of a Stegosaurus tail spike. A second specimen goes further, an Allosaurus pelvis with a puncture wound and a healed abscess, which researcher Robert Backer concluded came from a stegosaur's tail striking the animal in a fight. Even a predator actively hunting this exact species, correctly filing it as dangerous, still got caught by it. You never had it filed as a threat at all. That's what kills you. Not distance, not a bad decision, a blind spot, 3 carnivores built into your own instincts without you realizing it. Your last attempt. Every lesson applied at once. Avoid open ground, avoid dense cover near the biggest rivers, stay alert near small streams too. And now, a threat doesn't have to look like a predator to be one. You climb. If every danger so far has come from ground level, leaving the ground entirely is the one option you haven't tested. It's your best attempt yet. It's still not enough. The largest animals in this entire ecosystem weren't the predators. They were the sauropods. Camarasaurus and Brachiosaurus, gigantic long-necked herbivores that fed by stripping the highest branches off conifer trees, the exact height you've just climbed to. Brachiosaurus alone could reach browsing heights of over 12 meters, taller than a 3-story building, using a neck built less like a snake's and more like a crane's boom. One approaches to feed on your tree. It never notices you. It doesn't have to. Simply by leaning its full weight into the trunk, it destabilizes the tree, or brushes against the branch you're gripping, and you fall or are struck from a height no predator on this list ever needed to touch you at. 5 attempts, 5 different lessons, 5 different ways this world corrected a mind trained entirely by the wrong century. The real thesis isn't in any single attempt. It's the pattern across all 5. You learned Allosaurus and it taught you nothing about Torvosaurus. You learned Torvosaurus and it taught you nothing about Ceratosaurus. You learned 3 predators by heart, so thoroughly that the fear itself became the danger, and none of it mattered the moment the threat wasn't hunting you at all. First, an animal you never flagged as relevant, then simple, indifferent scale. From an animal that never knew you existed, every single thing on this list was a real, named, confirmed dinosaur, and not one of them had to be a monster to end you. They just had to be exactly what they already were.